cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
Do you ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountain?
All right, welcome into the View from C-Deck, and this is an episode we didn't think we'd be having about a week and a half ago, but here we are, and the Ohio State Buckeyes have made it into the college football playoffs. Rankings get announced today, and we are the 4 seed playing in there against the Georgia Bulldogs, with Michigan and TCU, as expected, being 2 and 3. Everything kind of went as expected, I guess. They were trying to hype it up, they being the media, trying to hype Alabama for some, I guess, just to get some ratings for the show, since it was pretty so cut and dry, and there was no reason for Alabama to suddenly jump us at the end. But how are you feeling there, Casey? You were indisposed last week due to your depression, and now here we are. We're back in.
Like a phoenix risen from the ashes. I'm all. We're gonna get it done.
That's what I'm hoping, and I like how it turns out here, because now we have to earn. Some people were wanting us to play Michigan in the semis, with TCU losing as well. But I think it's good. We have to play the juggernaut, Georgia, to get our shot at redemption and show that we're ready for it. Because if we go out there and get lambasted by Georgia, obviously the same thing probably would have happened against Michigan too. So I'm willing to let us go earn it. Let's see what happens.
And I would say the reverse of that. If we had to play scum the first game, and we got it done, all the emotions would be let out in that game, man. It would have all been let out on the field, and I don't know if we would have had anything left in the tank to take on Georgia. So if we can, I like it this way. Like you said, if we were to lose first game to them again, I don't know if I could even handle it. Like my head would freaking explode. If we get boat raced by Georgia, then it's, well, they're just the best team. And yeah. I just hope to God that they take care of scum, assuming they beat TCU. But I've said it all year. I mean, I've thought Georgia, I was proven wrong, obviously, but I've thought Georgia was the only team that could beat us. And I've thought that we were the only team that could beat Georgia. So we'll see. If we bring our A game, I really think we can take them down. And we got a month to get healthy. Our running back room should be basically 100% by then, I would hope. It doesn't seem like any of the Henderson's the most banged up out of all of them, I think, from what I've read. But it kind of seems like he might actually be back to normal by then, maybe. Mine for sure will be. The elephant in the room is, of course, JSN. That would be amazing to have him and Marvin on the same field at the same time. We really only saw that full go in the Rose Bowl, and they each had 3 touchdowns. So I'm pumped. I think they're going to have a point to prove. Hopefully they play pissed off. They don't play tight. They play loose. Let it all hang out. Be aggressive. Just do what we do.
I mean, if you watch the LSU game at all, when they backup quarterback came, LSU threw for 500 yards against them. Now I think part of that's that Georgia got up so big and they were just not maybe took the gas off the foot off the gas a little bit. But that dude that came in for Nussmeier LSU was just chucking. Like he was playing as loose as you could possibly play. Threw a bad pick near when they were starting to come back. That's part of it when you're playing that loose, but he was just uncorking it, and it was really effective. So if CJ comes out and just trusts his receivers and they trust the passing game, I think there's a shot. I don't think we're going to be able to run the ball very well no matter who's back there, because I think Jalen Carter is a wrecking machine, is going to wreck us up the middle, because our interior line is probably the weakness of the team offensively, besides maybe Cade Stover at the moment, although I think that was also injury-related, his play at the end of the year. But I do think it'll be very tough for us to run up the middle against them, because Carter is a freak of nature. If you didn't see the play where he sacked the quarterback and then held him like a little child like this while he raised his finger number 1 in the air, it was hilarious and scary.
See, I'm on the same page with you there. We're not going to be able to run right up the middle, but I also don't think we have the speed to do these bullshit bubble screens and kicking it outside. So we got to figure out a good game plan. But you're right. I mean, they don't have many weaknesses. I don't even know if you could say any glaring weakness at all. But on the defensive side, if there was one thing that they're not as good as others, I'd say it's pass defense. Their D-line is nasty. They stop the run great. I mean, they do have a really good defensive back. It's probably going to be like top 15, top 20 pick.
They got
Pick.
2 first-round picks at DB. They got one a safety and a corner, both probably going first round.
Yeah, but they got first round picks across the board. Basically, I mean, we do too.
I think it is their pass rush. They don't have an edge rusher with Nolan Anderson going out for the season. They haven't really had a pure edge rusher that it's like Michigan. Like they got a good D line all around, but there's nobody besides Carter in the middle that you got to like really worry about. Like especially with our tackles, I think they should be able to hold up one-on-one on the outside. It's going to be the help's going to need to be on the interior to help out on Carter. And CJ's going to have to move. He's going to have to roll out. It's just going to happen. He's going to have to make plays with his legs. He's just going to have to. But we'll preview Georgia for later on that game. We'll have a big breakdown of that one. I'm planning on doing multiple podcasts on it, offense, defense, overall stuff. Also, though, Michigan TCU, I'm a big Duggan fan. He won me over. I was already a big fan, and I kind of thought he should win the Heisman, even though his stats aren't quite where Caleb Williams are or Stroud's for that matter, because I think he's just been dragging that team to wins all year, and he almost did it again in the Big 12 championship. Some very, very questionable play calling by their coach at third and fourth and goal, and apparently QB sneaks aren't a thing down there either. But especially with the guy that it just dragged your ass down to tie it near the end of the regulation. But he'd have my Heisman vote if I had one, to be honest with you. And can he pull out the magic against Michigan? I think Michigan's feeling that. If you heard their comments, they already think they've won the game.
Yeah, and that's getting TCU. That you could easily say they're the weakest team of the four in the Final Four, but they're kind of like their season reminds me of our 0-2 season. They find ways to win. They keep dragging it out. They keep it a 4-quarter game. Now, Michigan has been awful, really, in the first half all year long, but they've been the best second-half team in the entire country. So that first half is going to be huge in that game. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, they're kind of writing them off. They're assuming they're going to win. I saw a poll on 11 Warriors that said, who would you rather face in the national championship? And it was overwhelming Michigan.
Only one answer. Yeah.
But my rebuttal with that is that means they win. You don't want to see them win, do you? You never want to see them.
No, but if we're going to write the storybook, we got to overcome them in the final. I mean, this is setting up for the movie.
It is setting up for the movie, but we have debated this before through text, me, you, and Jason, and we're both like, I don't give a shit if we lose to Michigan if it means we win a natty. Fuck them.
Yeah, I agree. But how sweet would it be to beat them for the natty?
Yes. Equally as awful as it would be to lose to them. So
that would be the ultimate. I mean, the pressure on Day would be it's Day's getting the pressure. He's getting the pressure from me, Jason, everybody. I mean, Stroud's got some, but players come and go. He's gone no matter what anyway after this year. Yeah. Day's not gone for sure, but if he loses again, it'd be so weird because we'd have beaten Georgia to get there. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it, really, to be honest with you. Yeah. But you think the noise is bad now. He will have to beat them next year. Like, if we don't beat them in the national championship game, if we lose Georgia, that's one thing.
That's fine.
If we lose them in the national championship, he has to beat them next year in Ann Arbor, or he's gone. I don't care if we're 11-0 going to that game. He'll be gone. I guarantee you he will be.
So that is why I would say the answer to that question should be TCU, because they're the easiest route on paper to win a natty.
This coming from the guy that always wanted us a good Michigan at the end of the year to help us out, even though that makes it harder to get to the natty.
It makes it easier to make the playoff in a 4-team battle. Tell me this: if Michigan was snuck in, they were a 1-loss team and got to like number 4, there's no way we're getting in this year.
Yeah, but we might have beat them.
No,
if they were a worse team.
Assuming we lost.
I don't think we got in because of how we lost. We got in because everybody else lost around us.
That our loss though is to an undefeated team. I know it was they even touched on the fact that it was a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter. I was glad that they actually realized that they.
I think it's just Bama. If Bama had 1 loss, they'd be in. But they have 2.
Well, yeah.
So does everybody else. That's why we got in.
Because it's Bama. That's not fair.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think there's several teams, if they end up with 1 loss, they'd have been in over us, but they didn't. So it is what it is.
Maybe.
Because that means they would have won their conference title games too, or won some other big games.
If they won their conference title, yeah.
So real quick, if we were to be doing a 12-team playoff, though, we'll look ahead to that. If it were this year, Ohio State would be the 6th seed at home hosting Penn State, which seems stupid and probably wouldn't have been the case had it been. But just looking out, because we're only 2 years away from it now with the announcement this week that the path has been cleared by the Rose Bowl for 2024, 2025. So it'll be so that's right, 2024 season. So we're 2 seasons away, right? 1 more season of this 4-team crap. And then the regular season doesn't matter and the game doesn't matter nearly as much. Depends on how you look at it, about how you feel about that. But it's good for Ohio State for sure, because we're going to be in a lot.
Every year. Then I will want to suck asshole and go 0-12.
Yes, you should do that anyway. How good you feeling right now that they're good?
I mean, I hate them always, but I don't think we'd be in the playoff if they weren't good. If we lost.
Yeah, we look at that. Like Tulane would be the 12 seed playing 5 seed TCU right now. We'd have all these teams that just won. This is what's funny though, is this is the first conference championship weekend where we've had a bunch of upsets like that actually happened. Usually it's been chalk city since the playoffs started because teams seem to have like whoever's got the motivation's gone ahead and won it, but this has not been the case.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I was half expecting Michigan to blow it after seeing USC and TCU do that. Then the first half, Purdue was hanging around, but I think clearly, even though we got boat raced, they blew it up at the end of the game. I think us, Scum, and Georgia are the 3 best teams this year, though.
So the lines, we'll do real quick here. The betting lines, initial, -6.5, Georgia. I think that's too low. And then -9, Michigan over TCU. Which game has your eye for betting purposes?
Oh, man. So our game, honestly, it's a freaking playoff game, so it's hard to say this, but it seems like a ballsy pick almost status.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree.
all the money should go on Georgia, -6.5. I mean, they just freaking destroyed LSU. Their defense looked a little shitty in the second half there once that quarterback came in. And we just got embarrassed at home to Scum by over 20. So,
who is generally considered a shittier version of Georgia.
yeah, who just got destroyed last year by Georgia. So I was kind of just from what I had read on Facebook from people posting and stuff, I'm not shocked by the spread, but I kind of thought it might be around 10, 9.5, maybe even over a touchdown. Under a touchdown seems too low to me. So
right.
The obvious pick would be Georgia. So the ballsy pick would be picking us. On the flip side of that, I think the spread for Michigan game is too high. TCU is not getting any respect whatsoever. They've been in so many tight games this year. But they got everybody's patting freaking douchebag McCarthy's on his back, but Dugan's the man of that game, man. He's he over.
Yeah, I think he leads them to a cover pretty easy on that. Vegas has been wrong about TCU like the whole year, just about. But they've been putting these really low lines, and they just keep winning and covering most of the time. I mean, it's been close, but so I could see it being like a 8-point, like a 28-20 win for Michigan or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, just TCU, just however the game's going, they find ways to stay in it. Defensive battle, offensive battle doesn't seem to matter. They just find ways. Our game, though, I mean, but the average spread, both these are too low. If you look at the average winning margin's been like 21 in the first round. It's like 38-17 is like the average score. And I could, unfortunately, easily see that being the score in our game. It sounds like about right, because if Georgia gets up, the way their offense looks, we'll have to talk more about them later on, but that offense looked scary. Those two tight ends scared the crap out of me. And then they got the McConkey on the outside. Other than that, the receivers, they're very hit and miss. They seem to have a bunch of athletes that aren't really great receivers. But I don't know. I could see. I definitely think the betting action should be the Michigan game and take TCU first thought. But that's why Vegas makes money. They don't make stupid lines.
Yeah, that's why that line does. It seems odd to me. Like, is it just because they know how much money gets bet on Ohio State, so they purposely made it a little bit low? I don't know.
Well, that's what I wanted to say to Jason when he sent us the 13.5 line. I'm like, obviously you're not around Ohio State lines ever, because even if that sounds like a good line, you're never making it that big, or all the money's going to come on the guys, and they're at way too much risk.
It was like 10 against the best team in college football history, Alabama, in 2020.
Real quick, just looking at the rest of the rankings before we get off here. The only other ranking I thought that was interesting is that Penn State dropped 3 spots not playing.
Yeah, what the hell was that? And then
they got by Clemson, Utah, Kansas State, all for winning their conference championship games.
I thought it was odd that, like, I actually did watch it. I was streaming it on my phone, and they were like, all the talking heads were like, oh, yeah, so Bama's definitely 5, which whatever, that makes sense. And then they were like, so that means TCU's 6 for sure. Before it even came out, I'm like, why? They weren't playing. They have 2 losses. Clemson won their championship game. I thought you could easily see Clemson being ahead of them.
Well, when you say that, because my rankings have Clemson in. Said before, I make my own rankings. They have Clemson. They have Utah in actually as the 4 seed, because I gave huge weight to a full point weight to the conference championship games, along with the win you get in the conference championship game is usually going to put you over the top against a team that didn't win their conference. But they're just barely ahead of us, and actually we're tied with TCU and somebody else, but right behind there. But Clemson, I think, has been very underrated, and they were stupid of them to they finally put in their quarterback, the stud Klubernick. He's a sophomore, I believe, or maybe he's a freshman. Same class. He ended up being, I think, a better prospect than Ewers, and was supposed to be in the same class as Ewers. But yeah, he finally gets in. They roll against UNC, who's not a great team, but they're a quality team overall. And I'm like, man. He said they wouldn't have got blown. I mean, the problem is they got blown out by Notre Dame, so they never had a shot. But if you look at their whole body of work and their schedule they played, it's not that bad what they did.
Yeah, Tennessee got blown out by South Carolina, though. Clemson lost by 1 to them.
Yeah.
They got to be kicking themselves, man. I wasn't even thinking about that game in the moment, but them losing to South Carolina is why we are in. They would have been it. They would have been the 4th seed.
They would have easily been the 4th seed. Yeah. Oh, easily been the 4th seed.
It would have been no.
And I believe, aren't they playing Tennessee in their bowl game?
What'd you say?
They playing Tennessee in their bowl game?
I didn't see who the bowl matchups were.
That's the Orange Bowl, Tennessee and Clemson.
So is the Rose? Who's so Penn State, Utah? Rose Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah. Then Bama, Kansas State, Sugar Bowl, and USC and Tulane in the Cotton Bowl. Lincoln Riley gets to run up the score and get out, and the Heisman Trophy winner is going to go out because Williams is going to win it. He shouldn't. It should be Dugan, but it's going to be him.
This is the weakest Heisman group I think ever remembered. I mean,
Ever.
Stroud, if all he had to just beat Michigan and he had it guaranteed, I'd say.
That didn't happen, which is why it's the weakest ever, though. Nobody went and seized it at all. Everybody's teams lost at the end too. All three quarterbacks who were probably the top three, all lost their last game of the season.
Will Stroud be a finalist?
I'd say no, but he might be.
Dugan, Williams, and then who's third? Because they have to have three.
I'd put Corman if it was me. I mean, I think it's going to be such a runaway. It doesn't matter. I think Williams is going to win it by a freaking mile.
Yeah, I mean they got destroyed, but he actually had a good game playing hobbled.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, like I said, I'd take Dugan because I think he's just dragged that. I think look. Jason sent us the stats. I'm like, well, that's what every stat looks like for Lincoln's system. Like, yeah, they're good quarterbacks, but at what point does the system, and that goes same for Stroud, same for Ohio State. You're going to put up numbers. Like, how good are you actually when everybody before you puts up the same numbers as you?
Yep. Haskins, Fields, Stroud all get 40 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, or whatever.
Yeah. Baker, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and now him. They all put up 5,000 yards of total offense and 50 touchdowns. Yeah, what point is that actually just the system? You know, go do that at Wake Forest, and I'll be very excited for you.
Yeah.
Go do it in Indiana. Go do it at Purdue. Do it there, and it doesn't impress me. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. The big news is though, Buckeyes are in 14 playoff, 8 p.m. Unfortunately, from everybody who likes to party on New Year's Eve.
But
last time we were in that, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, those of us with kids though don't really have many plans on New Year's Eve, so I'm gonna sit my happy ass right on that couch back there and get drunk and watch.
I actually had an offer for some babysitting and us actually getting out, but now I'm like,
Oh man, yeah. See, I don't think I could watch that game in a bar. All the shit talking. No,
thank you.
No chance.
All right, that'll do it for us though this week. We'll come back with some more podcasts though. I got some more ideas for a little more off-season type stuff. We're gonna have I made a TV show. All of us made a TV show, Desert Island podcast, a while ago. I've been waiting for the off-season to release it. And this is like a nice little 2-week break we get here before bowl season starts up in 4 weeks until the Buckeyes play. So we got time to put that out there. So everybody enjoy your holiday season though. We'll be coming at you more. Like us, follow us, comment in the section in the comment section. How bad do you think we're going to beat Georgia? Probably 77-0. All right.
Hey guys! Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
A rich man's world.